Hi guys, it's Leah. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So I have seen a few people I watch doing this mid-year book freakout tag, and I thought that I would like to jump in. So the questions I found for this tag on the internet had a few questions that I thought weren't really fit for purpose of a video creator rather than a blog writer. So I did cut a few questions out, and also a couple of questions that I thought were just impossible to answer, like what books do you want to read for the rest of the year? I'm like, we would literally be here all day. But I do have 12 bookish questions that we're going to answer right here, right now, and you might get to know me a little bit through this video as well. So without further ado, let's get started. The first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2024? I hand out a lot of 5 stars, but I'm going to settle with answering Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson. This is definitely one of the best books I've ever read, full stop. I highly recommend it. I know I say that every time I mention it, but seriously, I can't recommend it enough. It is just so fantastic, and if you're a lover of fantasy and epic fantasy, you should definitely check out his book. It is amazing. Question 2 is the best sequel you've read so far in 2024. This is easy. It's Stone of Tears by Terry Goodkind. Angel's Sin by Daniel T. Jackson would be a close second, but I'm telling you, Stone of Tears is probably the best sequel ever. Wizard's First Rule was really good, don't get me wrong, but Stone of Tears absolutely blew me out of the water. I couldn't believe how good that book was, and I'm so glad that I borrowed that off a friend and decided to read it, because I wasn't sure if I was going to continue the series after reading just Wizard's First Rule. But once I read Stone of Tears, it was like, that is also one of the best books I've ever read, and it really solidified my need to finish this series because it's amazing. Stone of Tears is just incredible. I've felt every spectrum of human emotion while reading that book. Stone of Tears is like a testament to the greatness of Terry Goodkind's mind. I don't care what anyone has to say. Question number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. For me, this has probably got to be A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I only started reading Danielle L. Jensen's works this year, and they've been really good so far. So I would really love to read this book this year. I hope I can get around to it. Plus, there's some really pretty editions of it out there, so you never know, I might buy a cute one. Question 4, your most anticipated release for the second half of 2024. I don't really have many anticipated reads. My only anticipated read this year was House of Flame and Shadow, but if I had to answer this, I would say Racing Hearts by K.A. Knight, which I think might have just come out or will be releasing very shortly. Also Step Brute by Amanda Richardson. These are both in like the smutty romance category, so but these both sound like books that I would really enjoy, so I am excited to put these on my TBR and get around to them eventually. Question 5, your biggest disappointment. I'm sorry to say that it was A War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That book really changed my entire enjoyment and my opinion on the From Blood and Ash series. Is From Blood and Ash from Blood and Trash? Yes, but I really enjoyed the first 3 books. So A War of Two Queens I thought was garbage, like hot garbage, and it's put me off continuing. I think I will eventually read the next book, but I need to talk myself back into it after the absolute fucking travesty that A War of Two Queens was. Like, I don't know, the first From Blood and Ash book I thoroughly enjoyed. Books 2 and 3, you know, they were a bit repetitive, but I enjoyed them for what they were. Book 4, nightmare. Question 6, your biggest surprise of the year. For me, this is definitely Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson. I didn't know what to expect when I was going into this book. Honestly, I just knew it was fantasy and that I wanted to try to support more self-published authors and non-mainstream authors. So I thought, hey, Daniel T. Jackson has been following me on Instagram. I've seen a lot about his books, so you know what, I'm gonna give it a go. And it really surprised me by being one of the best books I've ever read in my whole life. It's immaculate. Question 7, new favourite author. I have two, Daniel T. Jackson and Danielle L. Jensen. These authors for perhaps very different reasons, but I've liked everything I've read from them so far, so I think they're both going to be auto-buy authors for me. Question 8, newest fictional crush. It has to be Rain from Crowns of Nyaxia. I haven't read the second book in the duology yet, but I really want to. I just thought he was amazing. Fingers crossed I keep that opinion, but I'm sure I will. I don't know, he sounds so hot. Question 9, newest favourite character. I would love to answer this question with Alana de Menise from the Ill-Born Saga, but Homegirl's been making me angry and I'm gonna need some redemption action for her before I can put her back in my favourite character category. So I'm going to have to say Kara Mason from the Sword of Truth series. I think Kara is a bad bitch and I love her. She is strong, but she's also, you know, she has emotion. She's absolutely beautiful. I think she's a fucking queen. I love her so much. Question 10, a book that made you cry. I'm very emotional, so the harder question for me is what books didn't make you cry? But from memory, the books that definitely made me cry were Wolf Road by Alice Roberts. Pretty much all of Terry Goodkind's books can make me cry, at least a couple tears in the eye. As I said, full spectrum of human emotions when I read his books. And then the one from the Selection series by Kira Cass. I don't think I outright cried, but that's only because I was on the train and it was taking everything in me to hold the tears in. But I'm going to count that as crying. Question 11, a book that made you happy. A Sign of Affection by Sue Morishita. I love love. And I love just sweet slice of life romance. I thought it was delightful. That book made me immensely happy and I can't wait to read more of them. And finally, question 12, most beautiful book you've bought this year. Maybe not most beautiful in terms of concept, but certainly beautiful in terms of appearance is my Wave Sprayed Edge edition of Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton that I got from Books Ever After. I bought this on the special edition release day, and honestly I didn't even know that it was being released the day that I went. I just went because there was an event on at Books Ever After. I didn't realize that event was the release of the special edition of Does It Hurt, but I grabbed one because my friend recommended it. And honestly, what a stunning book. We've got gold foiling on the cover and the sides, and then the sprayed edge is this immaculate wave design that continues on from the front and the back. It is so harmonious, very high detail, just beautiful to look at. I could stare at those edges all day. I think this is the most beautiful book I currently own. I anticipate that later this year I will have some books I regard as more beautiful, but for the moment, from what I've got so far this year, it's definitely this beautiful special edition of Does It Hurt. It's crazy. I wish I had it here right now so I could just look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. And one of the first special edition books I got. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That is my contribution to the mid-year book freak out tag. Let me know your answers to these questions down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, click the like button, leave a comment, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!